Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research, because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. Well, we're way on the way to having nothing left, guys, aren't we? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? What's happened over the weekend, you know? So, yeah, we're going to talk about that when Caz is through doing what she does in the background there as we get going, guys. But, yeah, interesting conversation. You know, voting doesn't work with Linda Repton. We've, yep, we know that. Okay. But is this a bad thing for us? If you look at the long-term picture on what's supposed to happen in their playbook, I guess you could probably say, yeah. But we're going to have a chat about maybe, you know, it's not that bad a thing. We don't know, you know. But what I see is there could be a few match review panels, you know. We want to use a sporting analogy. You know, like there's people there losing seats that probably didn't think they should have lost seats and that. So is there going to be some challenges against it? Yeah. Are we going to get to expose a little bit more? Or maybe, yeah. But, yeah. All in all, bullshit election. Exactly. I agree with you. We all knew what it was going to be. I was wrong. I got to say that for a minute. But then again, you know, Dutton threw the towel in. All right, he made some blunders as if he was probably meant to make them. You know what I mean? To, sorry, guys. Yeah, to actually play his part, you know. So very, very interesting what's going to happen in the time up to come. You know, we've got another 3 years of this idiot, supposedly, but what's going to happen in the meantime? Well, you know, I reckon the opposition, just who is, you know, the government, obviously, in this particular instance, I reckon the opposition has just maybe, you know, pulled some dirty tactics, and the match review panel will come out because there'll be some people that aren't happy about it. So let's see where it goes, guys. But yeah, there's, you know, we're not going to whinge over it. That's for sure. We're not, you know, we're in a game. Oh, well, we're in a fight, actually. We're in a fight for our lives. So yeah, whatever way it goes, we've just got to play it. Okay. So at the moment, we sort of know where it's gone. It's, let's have a look at a couple of things. So, you know, in all this stuff with the e-commissioner and all this sort of crap, guys, you know, and, you know, trying to censor us, Australia's Home Affairs Department has let staff use Signal since the COVID lockdowns, documents show. Now, you know, why would they be even using Australia's Home Affairs, be even using Signal, you know, an encrypted app? You know, that's why they would probably be using it, thinking it's an encrypted app. Well, supposedly it is, but I don't think anything's free. But it just shows you what they can do, guys. Two-tiered system. They can do anything they want. Again, we're finding a lot more things that are actually causing this heart failure. Forget about, you know, the bio weapon that they've given everyone and continuing on with the flu shots. But poor hearing heightens the risk of heart failure now, guys. So if anyone's out there who's doing it tough, can't hear properly like me because of my age in my industry, yeah, I better be careful because heart failure. Now, I'm just looking at this. It's just Goldfields increases takeover offer for gold resources to 3.7 billion. So this is a South African company, guys, that are coming in now that the price of gold's going up. And again, you know, we're in the market to sell our gold or sell them more of a share in our gold. You know, it's just, this is what's got to stop, you know, and this is going to take real work to actually stop this bullshit that's gone in the background. Whenever you're right, Caz, because it is so entrenched. It's just incredible. So, all right, Caz, let's go. We're a lot of people are crying. A lot of people are going, oh no, you know, well,
it couldn't have been better outcome really for us because the margin is so huge. So you've got everything happening. It's exposed the Liberal Party. There's calls for Turnbull to be ejected from the party. It's in a shambles at the moment, but it's been exposed as basically sabotaging Dutton, or Dutton at least throwing it. You've got Albo strutting around, basically already making announcements, you know, about, you know, what he's going to do as far as the inheritance tax. And what was the other one here? I'll bring it in actually.
He's made some bloody claims, man, and, you know, he's just going to suck. It's just... Anyway, let's get on with it. Go on.
Bold plan to raid your super. And you also got a whole heap of really good things happening. Like, for example, it's also exposed the independents as far as who's willing to stay in the fight and who's willing to fight to the end. Because Madison, will play that a little bit later, but she's basically saying that she wants a recount. And I think that that is really well justified, because if you look at this now, my suspicion here is that they have not. So these are, now this is from Jacinta Namampinjina, or Price,
yep.
Jacinta Price anyway. Look, she says that the what are the heat map of the election vote shows the majority blue, Liberal and National, and Labor won. We need a recount on the ballot. This election is rigged. Even she's saying it.
Who would ever thought that? Who would ever have thought that? Wow.
That's right. But even she's saying it. So she's basically saying what is going on. So you've got all of this. Now, I had a look at it, and about half, because I had people contacting me that were doing field reconnaissance. And one of them was going over, and she was interviewing all of the people who were doing the pre-poll, handing out and that sort of stuff all around Victoria area. And she said, the same as Mark said last week, is that about half the people were looking for independence. Now, when you look at it, it actually does show mostly half the people were voted for independence. If they were trading the votes like we were of the understanding that they were, yes, there's also that. But if they were trading the votes, which we were of the understanding that they were, then we should have had a lot more independence in. Okay, because that's just math. That's basic math. Okay, so, but here's the thing. If they had Nationals, so Rennick won, and then it went to 2, and then it went to 3, and whatnot. It looks to me like they've got this result by doing what we've been told by scrutineers that they do in the past, and that's just to go for the two-party preferred. So they go down all of them. So all of those Marble videos, and Topher, I think you bring it the way you do it, but it just shows. This to me says that they haven't. They've just bypassed all of that. They've gone, all right, well, that's one to Rennick's party, and then they've gone down and gone, preferred Liberal, preferred Labor. and that's how they've done it. So the thing is, it's what I find really interesting is that there's been a couple of casualties. One of them's Adam Band. He's just lost his seat. What if he demands a recount? What if he actually starts? What if it comes from him? What if it comes from him saying, okay, there's something going on here? Now, it may not. I'm expecting there to be some sort of fraud exposure. I actually am. You've also got the situation in Sydney, where in one part of Sydney, I can't remember where it was now, but I think it was Jane Holm had basically spoken out about the Chinese spies, and then there was a 20% flip with the 40% Chinese nationals in the area. So it just goes to show that the population, imported population, is determining outcomes. So the thing is, it can only go two ways. Okay, one, we knuckled down for a hard road where they're basically putting everything on us, and we just resist, or two, and this is what I think is going to happen, is there's going to be exposure. Yeah, we've got an Indian guy here but look, the thing is that even this is exposing it.
They're
so
looking into 300, and how's Dutton worth 300 million, guys? Now there's an investigation into, I heard, a $500 million company that he's involved with. So, as Caz said, exposure. Is everything going to come out now here in Australia, and we're going to get to, run a bit of a dodge over here or whatever? Who knows, But what we've got to do here, guys, with all this exposure is get it out there, because the normal person is saying that they didn't vote the way that this whole thing's gone. So, the more we can get it out there and expose it, get it to the general public.
And I have had normies, traditional, usually Labor voters, contact me going, what the hell happened? No one's voting for Labor. So the person who was going around Victoria, because Victoria must have been really hard done by with Labor over the last couple of years. Well, we know that they were, and no one was taking the Labor how to vote cards, which is very interesting. So, but look, we'll go through some of them. But I look, the thing is that the government can't do it if we're all awake. So we're in a really good position. And all we've got to do is keep on going, because the more that they do this, and the bigger the thieving and all of that sort of stuff, the more what we say is underlined.
Yep. And 6 million didn't vote.
And also the other thing is, there is that, but also the other thing about it is if it does go down, it's going to go down. They're going to be left holding the bag. Like if we have a stock market crash or something like that, they're going to be left holding the bag. So they're going to end up getting the blame for it. It could end up being that the two-party system duopoly is completely and utterly over and done with, and then we actually are able to restore some constitutional law or some sort of form of law,
Mm. Yeah, well, yeah, some form of natural law, actually, yeah. Do no harm to others, that's it,
Yeah, now the other thing that has been, we've been a little bit quiet on, and it's just basically because we haven't been able to cover everything, is this here. Now, John Adams, this has been going through the NACC for a long time. That's the National Anti-Corruption Commission. So John Adams says that Albo is the first Australian Prime Minister to be elected to high office while a serious referral is before the National Anti-Corruption Commission. Albo was referred in May 24, accompanied by a 200-page report. The matter remains under consideration after almost 11 months. In the past 35 years, the New South Wales Independent Commission Against Corruption has toppled 3 sitting premiers, all Liberals, Greiner, O'Farrell and Berejiklian. And the NACC now faces its most critical test as to whether it has enough integrity to uphold the law, expose Albanese and overturn the outcome of the 2025 election. So, very interesting.
I've seen some interesting stuff on Albanese, mate. His name's Ellery, his last name. Some very interesting stuff about who he is and where he actually come from, and supposedly, he was living in commission, but going to the best of schools. And so, very, very, very interesting history, actually, which will all come out, I gather, as well, guys. But, someone sent that to me. It was some well done research, actually. But, she put it all together. And Albo's name's not even Albanese, guys.
What we need to do is as a collective group, we need to establish a vision for people. The thing that you cannot buy, the thing that you can't do, that is incorruptible, is when people have a vision. So we need to actually really look into, and I'll do a couple of points on what I think what freedom is. Liberty is freedom of association. Liberty is to spend your money where you need to spend it. Liberty is, and just basically nutting out all of these things, because the more they come against us and the more solid that is, you create a vision, you're imparting a vision into other people, and then basically they capture the vision and they are on board. It's not just one thing to expose the corruption, there is that, but there's also the other thing, and that is to create the vision. And I am looking forward to that, because I think that we're just about, I don't know, I think that interesting times are coming. Well, actually, somebody put up on that. I won't mention the name, but somebody did put up a post that they knew him from back in the day when he was living in Housing Commission, and apparently, apparently there was word around the neighbourhood of similar things. So, be very interesting. That can't be verified.
I'll pull that out for tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll pull that out for tomorrow night. I'll find that message and actually, here it is. It was Kerry. There you go. It was Caz. So, if you, have a bit of a. She's really put a good thing together, guys. So yeah. Well done, Caz. Very interesting.
Oh, very interesting.
Another Obama, mate. He's not a wog at all. He was actually Irish, something descent. You know what I mean?
Well, somebody told me actually somebody I think that was very into the Labor Party said that when he was coming up through the ranks, he was never a contender. It was just basically he'd never been considered as, certainly not PM, certainly not even secretary. So that was the general feel amongst the Labor Party people. So it's very interesting that he is where he is. So, all right, let's get on to our news. So now, John Treverton was assaulted the other day by a police officer. Rocco, I can't play all of this because it's a bit long, but Rocco's actually rung the police station and tried to make a report on it.
Is that what you're saying?
Did you not hear what I just said?
I heard what you just said, but you're not hearing what I'm saying. This is a serious matter, very serious matter. Very serious matter. You can't assault somebody if they haven't committed any harm, loss, or damage to anybody. You can't do that. So you need to assist me in making contact with Brendan Van.
Do you want to provide? What's your details? I can shoot him an email.
Yeah, but my name is Rocco.
What's your name and number?
My name is Rocco. Okay. Yeah, Rocco.
Have you had any police contact before?
Have I what? Sorry.
Had any police contact before? Like, have you been a victim or anything like that?
No, mate. You'll find that majority of the public are victims to the police. The way things are going down there in Victoria.
Where are you from?
I'm from New South Wales.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure you can give me. Can you pass on my number to him?
Yeah. What's your last name, Rocco?
No, I don't have to give you my last name. I can give you my number.
I'd like your last name so I can confirm your ID, so you know who I'm speaking to.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
If you can't give me that, then I'm not doing it. All right, we'll end it there, Rocco.
I'm going to ring later on anyway. I'm going to chase this up.
Go, Rocco.
He's onto him. He is onto him, guys.
He does an awesome job. So that's very good. Now, something that the chick sent me, which is really highly disturbing, is now they want biometric data, i.e. your face scan. Just have a listen to this. This is from Facebook.
No bull, guys. I got my account suspended today. My Facebook account suspended. I had 180 days to appeal it. So I appealed straight away. It came up with I need to take a live video of myself. So I had to push the button. There was no other choices. So I pushed the button. I had to follow the prompts on the screen. The prompt said, turn your head slowly to the right, which I did. Then it said, turn your head slowly to the left, which I did. Then it said, turn your head slowly to the right again, which I did. And that was the end of that. Now you tell me this isn't setting us all up to facial recognition to get
Sure
on
is.
Facebook. So don't be surprised if you get your account suspended, and the only way you can get it back is to do a live video of your face showing all sides, all around. So, yeah.
Well, I can tell you guys, if we lose a Facebook site or they do that to me on Facebook, I just won't be there because I won't do it. You know what I mean?
Matilda TV.
Yeah. We'll just all go to Matilda
Yeah.
TV, you know, and we'll do Rumble and we'll do whatever. But if Facebook pulls me or any of the others, no, it will not happen. I refuse. So,
All right, now out about the traps this weekend was Rosie. Renegade Rosie's back, guys.
We're back at Coleroy Beach, having been at Mona Vale earlier. And I've just been hearing some stories about local people here, one of whom was a very high-profile, well-known character who happened to be a surgeon. During the early rollout of the vaccine, mistakenly this surgeon was telling people that if they're in doubt about which vaccine to take, they'd be well advised to take both AstraZeneca and Pfizer. However, in the course of unfolding events, he realised what a terrible piece of advice he'd given to so many of his friends and possibly his family, and he seems to have disappeared from the area, or certainly disappeared from the community. It's a shame that doctors still are too cowardly to admit what they now know. I'm sure there are many who are aware of the advice, and the vaccinations that they've given have certainly caused a great deal of harm. Please confront your doctor who's delivered these injections to you, or your pharmacist who's done the same, because you are not in a position to give informed consent. And until we confront these people and make sure this stops, we will see it happen again.
So we're having so many wins as far as the information like that goes. Now, the White House has come out and admitted that Dr. Fauci lied. Yep.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it
I was
wasn't
just
a wet
gonna
market.
yeah, before we go there, Kaz. Right, so Facebook, guys, this is what's happening. I suggest everyone go register now or tonight, right, at Matilda TV. Right, that's what I suggest, because if it falls over, guys, that's you're going to have to go there, Rumble, Twitter.
And Matilda TV's excellent, guys. It's really excellent. The chat's excellent.
He's really,
and
really
Dave's
got it
frozen.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, have we? We're back. We're back.
You're back.
Okay, sorry, Kaz, go,
Yeah.
mate. Fauci,
Yeah, no, that's
sorry
it.
to take you offline
So
there, Fauci.
No, that's all right. Look, Fauci's. So the White House has actually admitted that Fauci has lied and it didn't come from a wet market. So there's that. Also, the Pfizer is basically being exposed in court at the moment. So look, the thing is that it is all coming out. So, you know, guys, guess who's going to be holding the bag when all of this comes out? So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So, yeah, I think that, we're in for some interesting times, but we're in for some fun times. And one of the things that we do as a people group is we make fun of every situation. Check out these guys.
It was half Chinese.
Anthony Albanese is half Chinese. Don't tell people lies.
That's true.
Anthony Albanese is half Italian, you twat.
I must have got it mixed up.
I think so. Telling people lies is not great. Don't stand.
I won't. Labour and the Greens are communist scum.
What are you fucking doing?
Free petrol for a year if you vote Labour.
Okay, I'm the polling manager here. I'm going to ask you please play nicely with the other political volunteers.
Sorry, I think there's more of an issue in terms of some of the propaganda that you're sprouting.
Okay, I think this is getting a bit hostile.
Okay, can I just
let's just separate and then we'll just carry on. Guys, climate change is fake.
Oh, fine.
Good on you, hippie.
Love it. Love it.
I know it's really awesome, you know. So yeah, and these are the things which define us: is the fact that we can actually laugh. We can actually laugh in the face of adversity, and that's what separates us from the rest of the world. So, guys, we are going to have the best time watching the Albo get exposure. Like, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, we're going to be pushing the metal, guys, with the witness statement, with, you know, all this stuff that we've got at our, you know, as this exposure comes out, we got to get it out there. We got to utilize it. Right? Let's go.
That's it. All right, so Madison King, let's have a look at what she's called for, because this is really important.
So there's obviously some issues going on with the voting in WA. What we're asking for is a recount, and secondly, for all the scrutineers that have issues to come forward, inbox us and we will do your statement. Secondly, this is about the Australian values of a vote. It's not just our party. It's about every single party. We might potentially have a new winner. Whatever it is, it hasn't been done fairly and it hasn't been done properly. For all we know, it could be a One Nation winning in WA, or the Liberals, or the Libertarians. So this has to be done fairly and justly, and we are now asking for a recount. And that recount should be spread right across Australia, because I'm not buying for 2 seconds that the votes were counted within 2 hours on the East Coast.
I think that you might be onto something there, Madison.
My little friend Alison Burns Scully was back in 2 hours after the poll shut. Like, really?
2 hours and 18 minutes.
2 hours, 18 minutes. Bang. Here's your winner.
Well, what's interesting about that is you've got this situation as well. Now, this is from Eleanor D. Burkus, and she says she took 2 screenshots last night because she was sure the elections were rigged. First screenshot was taken at 9:52 and the other one was at 9:56, 4 minutes apart. How on earth did they count so many votes so fast? So Labor went from 56 to 79 in 4 minutes. She says, no way, I've been involved as a scrutineer and I have never witnessed votes counted so fast.
Unreal. They don't care.
Well,
anyway, that's what makes it looks very scripted, Caz. Yeah, play it out, guys.
Exactly. It looks like it's scripted to me. It's still, like I'm still saying, it looks like it's scripted. It's just, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it just looks like it's scripted. And we will, actually, I won't say that publicly. All right. So look, but what's interesting is all of these news channels are in financial dire straits at the moment. And you have got, that they held on to until after the election.
Green land, housing endangered wildlife, boulders.
There's a road being punched like through there.
The green energy plant ravaging the environment.
The renewable energy industry exists for the environment, not in spite of it. It is creating tens of thousands of jobs.
A current affair next week.
Now, they've held on to that after the election, which is really interesting.
Okay, I didn't even see that clip come up, but I'm watching it on my phone, actually. One of my phones.
All right.
Wow.
Now,
that was about the koalas and that, wasn't it? That was a tractor and that, yeah? Yeah.
So, first of all, they've taken the Brumbies. Now, we didn't cover the Brumbies a lot because we needed, because basically we just needed to stay focused. But you can see what they're doing. They're just basically ravaging pretty much everything. And you've got this as well with these images. Now, those are going viral on social media. So people are really getting their backs up.
It's disgusting what's going on with all of our, I saw another one from America today, and that was just how devastating the bees have been wiped out over there. They're just taking it, they're like, it's serious, man. It is very, very serious over there. They have and they're doing the same here.
No, I know. Well, I've heard stories of people having to do their own pollinations. So, guys, that doesn't mean not like that. So when you cross-pollinate or when you pollinate, you just go and get a branch from another tree and basically shake it over your tree. Or, just basically do it yourself as far as like the flowers go. But gardeners are having to do that because it's not happening.
Yeah, I just had some bikes behind me, Caz.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so here's the international students. Let's play it because everybody's seen it, along with the Labor Party celebrating, their multicultural members, I suppose.
The Labour Party is back in power, which means the current Prime Minister is holding his position. He's not going anywhere. And it's a big, big news for all international students, which means more chances, more work rights, better support are on the way. So if you are planning to stay or to study in Australia, this is your moment, okay? Just tighten your seatbelts and consider Australia for your future. Congratulations.
There's also adverts going around for unskilled migrants. Australia's open doors, basically, policy. So they're telling us that they're importing skilled migrants, but they're not. Now, there's nothing wrong with immigration. We've covered this a million times. The problem is we're in the middle of a housing crisis and they're bringing in 1 million people every year. It's like insanity. Oh, Dave, you're on mute. Dave, you're on mute. Oh.
Yeah, and it's all by design, guys. You know, the people that they're bringing in here, right? They're going to load you up with Muslims this side, Indians that side, all right? And it's just, they're going to take over. That's their idea anyway, but you're not going to let them. But you're now seeing how far these people, you know, look what the Liberals done with that secret society. You know, that was just incredible. You know, they're not allowed to vote, but here they are out there campaigning. Now, you know, were they looking after themselves, done a deal with the Liberals because they've actually got a bit of a court case coming up soon? And maybe if the Liberals had got in, that would have looked after the, you know, the judgment on that court case for them, or have it nullified or thrown out. Yeah, I just wonder, why else would they be in helping Dutton? Why is Dutton worth $300 million? Like $300 million? Are you joking me? Like, serious?
Let's we're at 8:30, so let's bring the flyers on. And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. This affects every worker and every business. New South Wales under a corrupt government. Enough is enough. We won't stay silent and we demand action. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. And Dr. Joanne Howe is organising another rally against the Greens abortion bill. This one will be on Wednesday the 7th of May at 5:30 p.m. sharp at New South Wales Parliament, Macquarie Street, Sydney. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. And join the Justice of the People in Melbourne every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. for a remembrance at the Shrine of Remembrance, lest we forget. And there is a court call-out for Dr. Beverly Peers at the Supreme Court of Victoria, Tuesday, 6th of May at 10:30 a.m. and that is at 210 William Street, or streamed with the link and password on Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot pages. And for the people, by the people, the people say no to 15-minute cities on Monday, May 12th, 6 p.m, Fed Square. Meeting in Fed Square at 5:30 p.m. sharp. In Canberra, every day for over 1,000 days, the freedom fighters have been protesting at the Governor-General's. To join in, meet at the National Rock Garden at 10 a.m. to expose the 28, or tune in on YouTube at #ExposeThe28. And check out Dan Tilda's new t-shirt designs featuring the QR code, the event number of the witness statement documentary. A daily prayer space is held on X at 3 p.m. So whatever you're facing, come along and we can lift you up in prayer. Every day, 3 p.m. on X. Melissa 146233923.
All right, I'm getting slammed here in the studio. I'm not seeing stuff, not, hearing it anyway, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that come on sort of a bit through it and then banged up, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we'll just continue on. All good.
All right. Well, look, this is what's happening internationally, and it's really interesting that it's happening with all of the Commonwealth countries.
On a serious note, guys, with this landlord situation, I know a few mums around my area who've all just been given 2 months' notice to move out. And I've just cottoned on to the fact since people were posting about their 2 months' notice evictions out of the blue. They've always paid the rent, right? Always paid them full, no problems, right? These people have got kids and they're being removed, right? Because they're getting 5 times more the rent, right? By making it vacant to them. They're going to start putting us in the hotels, right? And they've got all the houses. That's what they're doing. Where else are these mums with kids going to go? In the hotels, probably even with them. This is sick. It's sick. Keir Starmer's put no protection protections, right, for properties that are already vacant, who've all paid the rent and never been behind. There's zero protections. People are just getting a notice sent to them.
Well, that's probably what's going to, well, that's already coming here.
Yep.
So,
and they're spraying us like bugs here on the East Coast too, guys. I tell you, man, did they chemtrail us hard today? They went ballistic.
Okay, Glenn Shannon. I'm just reading this. Yeah, okay, cool. That's awesome. Look, all right, so now this is important, and I'll tell you why afterwards, okay?
More migrants leaving than arriving. Proof
Let's
if
see if I
benefits
see
are
it.
taken away, they will deport themselves. This is true. So the migrant problem in Sweden has gotten so incredibly bad and so dangerous that starting in 2022, they made huge cuts to their benefit programs for non-EU citizens. What did they do? They required them to learn Swedish, to work, and integrate to access their welfare in a step-by-step program instead of just on arrival. They're also literally paying people to leave their country, $34,000 per migrant if they are to return to their home country starting in 2026. And since they've made all this changes to the benefit programs and welfare programs for migrants, for the first time in a decade, Sweden achieved net zero migration in 2020.
All right, so the reason why that's important is because remember how I've talked about the web bots for some time? The web bots years ago forecast that it's actually technically deportation, but they call it re-immigration, but it would start in Sweden and it would sweep across Europe. So basically, it's very interesting that temporal marker, it's a time marker has started now.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's very good.
It is.
Anyway,
Well,
let's see how it plays out. But yeah, that's an interesting thing from the web bots. Yeah.
Well, now the other thing that I thought was really interesting is
fucking
this.
making.
Hey, videotape that shit.
Dude, that shit is just
That's
rolling.
a fucking video. Aliens.
It's an orb. We got an orb on video right now. A fucking orb. Unedited. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now, I don't know if it's CGI. I haven't really fully looked into it, but I've seen a few of them around on social media and very curious.
I'll be looking into them. Yeah, that's a bit freaky, isn't it? But anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Creating a lot of stuff now.
Yeah, that's it. Shout out to Michael Gray Griffiths now. Like, this is just the most insane thing. I just cannot believe that any Aussie would actually, even a troll, would actually stoop to this level, but obviously they do. So, hilarious update. One of his many haters called the hospital outraged at my only post today. So to placate her, I've been moved out of a 4-bed ward and into my own room with my own ensuite and view. Thank you very much. Seems the trolls hate is the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, it is sometimes.
Yeah, good on you, Mick. Yeah, so he's in till at least next Friday, guys. Actually, this Friday, I've been told by him today or yesterday. So anyway, yeah, just keep praying for him. He's getting better. So
yeah, that's it. All right, let's have some interesting. I really wanted to include this. Alberta is lobbying towards being the 51st state, but there's something very interesting about a lot of our people come on and they talk about the power of words, especially Glenn, and this is one of those things that explains really well what complaining does.
Neuroscience fun fact of the day is that complaining, judging, or criticizing others can actually change your brain to make you less focused and productive and decrease your problem-solving skills. I'll tell you the science behind why and how we can actually flip this into a positive at the end. Reason number 1 is that every time you complain or criticize, you strengthen that pathway in your brain. This is Hebb's law. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So if you're constantly focused on what you don't like, you are wiring your brain to see more problems. Number 2 is that studies show that chronic stress and negative thinking can actually shrink your prefrontal cortex. And this is the part of your brain responsible for focus, emotional regulation, and decision making. You're literally weakening the part of your brain that helps you solve problems while strengthening the pathways that help you point them out. And number 3 is just a fun fact, but research shows that complaining and criticizing actually makes you less less attractive. And finally, complaining and criticizing puts you in a victim mindset and takes you out of being the creator that you are. But the inverse is also true. Thinking positively and expressing gratitude strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which improves your ability to focus and create the life of your dreams. Every time you speak or type a comment on here, you are training your brain. So train it to look for joy and abundance, because you don't get what you want in life, you get what your brain is wired for.
Now, she's almost correct there. It's not that we don't look at reality and we don't look at facts and we go, okay, all right, we know that the government's bad and we address that issue. But the thing is that we have to also keep that balance there and keep that, the things are going to get good, things are going to get better, this is actually working for us in a very strange way. So,
no, true.
Anyway, just wanted to bring that in.
No, true, it is. It's certainly, there's no shortage of material to expose, guys. There's no reason anyone should not be doing anything. All right, there is heaps of avenues out there. The cease and desist, witness statement, your information, your chemtrails, your this, your that.
Well, chemtrails, guess who's defected?
Forest of the Fallens are the best, man. They're the best thing out. They are unbelievable.
Yeah. That's it. And also, we've had a defection in the chemtrails. Listen to this.
My name is Scott Stevens. I studied meteorology at the University of Kansas, and that was my first TV job. Was on the air was in Topeka, and I worked in Omaha and Tulsa, Albany, New York, and then out into eastern Idaho in the Pocatello, Idaho Falls market for the last 10 years of my 20-year career doing weather. It wasn't until about 2005 when I got deep into the weather modification aspect of this story of geoengineering. One of the parts of the program that is very important that plays into the chemtrails is the precision of these actions in the atmosphere. These chemtrails are absolutely required, so they introduce the right energy at the right location for the right length of time. These trails are wires in the sky.
So that'll be available full video on the website. But here's a man who was a trained weatherman, and he defected. He basically quit his job because he wanted to get the exposure of what is going on with the chemtrails out there.
Well, you don't have to understand much. You just got to look up, see them, and then head to one of our Facebook sites or watch the show to find out that it's aluminium, barium, strontium, and now many other things, oxides and parasites and molds, and these guys are just off their chops, mate.
All right, we're being taken out by a rocking housewife, and it's stand strong, stand tall. So, Dave, if you would like to close the show.
All right, well, yeah, guys, as we said, start of another week. All right, elbows in, that's the way it goes. We'll see what the match review committee says, and upcoming, if there is any. I'm sure there will. And we'll go from there, guys. But, yeah, let's, as we just seen there, let's look for the good in it, all right? The good is that there's a lot of stuff coming out about exposing these guys, all right? So I think we just grab hold of it. We keep going. We keep pushing. And we have got a clip for the chemtrails I have sent to you, Caz. BJ, send it again, will you, bloke? But it's got the name of the people that are, let's get it out there on the show, and that the name of the people that are actually, doing the chemicals and transporting the chemicals and the planes that are flying. So, yeah, BJ, you want to get that back over to me, mate, so it's easy? All right, guys. So, yeah, we've got plenty out there, all right? Let's go and utilise it. It's the start of a new era now. All right, we didn't know what was coming. Now we know what's coming. Let's get into it. Okay, good night.
In the halls of learning, they whisper lies with a smile on their faces and a cunning disguise, telling our children they should hate their skin. Trapped in the darkness, they can't begin. Oh, stand strong, stand tall. We won't let them take it all. We are the future, hear our call. United together, we will never fall. In a world designed to keep us small, they want us fractured, they want us to crawl. With their clever games to sow the seeds of fear, but we'll break these chains, the path is clear. Oh, stand strong, stand tall. We won't let them take it all. We are the future, hear our call. United together, we will never fall. They don't want us to thrive, don't want big families. realities, bringing intentions, raising our anxieties. But we've got the power if we just believe. Stand against the tide, it's time to retrieve. They profit from our pain while they fatten their stacks. With our money in their pockets, there's no turning back. We're the heartbeat of tomorrow, hear our desperate plea. No more hiding in shadows, it's time to be free. Oh, stand strong,